Okay, good afternoon.
I just went on.
I'm here today with some members of our team, attorneys from the State's Attorney's Office, Samuelson and Van Horn, Assistant Chief Stefanowitz, Captain Bill Alfelt, who commands the Criminal Investigation Division, Sergeant Gerald Wagner, is one of the supervisors, and Detective Josh Luce, a couple of the folks that have been involved in this investigation from the beginning. On late Monday evening, 16-year-old James Moore was shot and killed in the 4400 block of 9th Avenue Circle. We know his mom, Ashley, and stepdad, Anthony, are here today as well, and we certainly offer our condolences to them on this very tragic event. Since that time, our department, from the immediate patrol response through today and ongoing, has put a significant amount of resource, time, and effort into this investigation in terms of identifying who is responsible for this violent act. We also wanted to provide our community with an update, and we are pleased today to inform our public that 31-year-old Marcus Rexroad was placed in custody yesterday evening and booked into the jail for conspiracy to deliver a controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a felon, a DUS warrant, and homicide charges. During the course of this investigation, thus far, 2 firearms have been recovered. We're working with the State's Attorney's Office in terms of charges and additional investigation. There are still other pieces that are active and ongoing relative to other folks who were there during this incident, as well as other pieces of evidence that we're seeking. So we just wanted to provide the brief information to the community that the person responsible for the shooting is in custody. The rest of the criminal justice process will take some time to come together, and we're continuing to actively work and to complete all of the other investigative tasks. I'd like to just turn it over to Captain Alfelt here to talk a little bit about, as a new commander in the Investigations Division, the sensational teamwork that went on and the resource management that he utilized to help bring this to such quick fruition. Captain?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you all for being here today. I think the theme of this investigation is hard work and teamwork. Working with our partners, not only interdepartmental with our Neighborhood Services Division, Patrol Division, and our Criminal Investigation Division, initial response to the call, and then a late night 12:30 phone call that got our Criminal Investigating Division out and on the road and on scene, and going all night looking for evidence and trying to figure out who was involved with this, to at the back end of this initial arrest anyway, working with our Cass County State's Attorney's Office and other partners within our metro area. And so just a very brief, but that's the way that we get this done so quickly, is through hard work, not only working through the night into late night hours at the start, but throughout the last 48 hours, and teamwork amongst not only within our division, the units within our division, but also within multiple divisions in our agency and our partners in the county and the metro area. So thank you all for the hard work that you've done in the last couple of days, and our work's not done. We still have many things to look into, and we'll be continuing to do that and continuing to work hard using teamwork throughout the next weeks, I'm sure. So I think, are we open for? Happy to take any questions from anybody. I won't be able to answer too much, I don't think so.
Based that he was booked on a marijuana charge, was this shooting drug related?
Again, this is an ongoing investigation. I'm not going to get into the details of the arrest or why the individual was arrested or how the individual was arrested, but more to come on that as the investigation continues.
Is there any indication that this was gang related? And can you also talk about how many other people may or were there at the time the shots were fired?
Again, all intimate details of the investigation that I would not be able to provide at this time.
So was this random, or did the victim and the shooter know each other?
We do not believe this is a random act. I'm not going to get into the relationship between the victim and the shooter, if there was one at all.
Where was Mr. Rexroad arrested, and how did detectives identify him as the prime suspect so quickly?
Mr. Rexroad was arrested in Fargo, and I'm not going to get into the details of the investigation on how he was identified so quickly at this time.
So, just to clarify, do you know a motive in this case?
Again, motive would be intimate detail in this investigation that we're not willing to jeopardize the investigation over at this time.
Can you tell us anything about the victim? 16 is just, it's a really shocking for the community to hear somebody so young killed. I mean, I know his parents are here somewhere, or the chief alluded to that. Can you tell us anything about him? I mean, who he was, anything like that?
I'm not going to get into personal details of the victim. What I will say is that any death in anywhere is a tragic event, especially when a victim of this homicide was someone so young. So, our condolences go out not only to the family of the deceased, but friends and those that knew him.
Can you tell us where the victim lived, or at least if he lived near the apartments, maybe possibly a city of address?
The victim was lived in the city of West Fargo. Can't get any further details than that.
I'll save Katie 2 steps. Just 2 quick questions here. One, do you believe there will be more arrests in this case?
Again, that'll be, those are intimate details of the investigation I'm not willing to disclose at this time. But I can assure you that we're continuing to look into this case and look into the details of it and following up on leads and different evidentiary details that will continue for many weeks.
And the initial press release said the gun was found next to the victim. Why was that put in the press release? Just seemed like an odd fact. We appreciate it as a member of the media. Just kind of curious about why that was placed in there.
We were giving as much information as we possibly could, and we felt that giving out that information would be helpful to paint a picture of the type of incident it might have been for media's benefit, but also just trying to be as transparent as we possibly could at that time. Oh, what the scene looked like, and so.
You had talked a little bit about getting a response from the public. How willing have people been willing to come forward with information?
Oh, we've had people that have come forward with information. If they've, I don't know if everybody has, there's no way we'd ever know, but there have been people willing to come forward with information.
So the gun that was used, or that was found at the scene, was that the one that the 16-year-old was shot with, or was that a gun that he had? I guess we're just hoping to find more information about these 2 guns that were recovered.
Again, details of the investigation that I'm not going to be able to disclose at this time. All right, thank you.
Let me just add one piece to that. Certainly, the guns in these investigations will be part of additional follow-up work done by our department. The gun found with the victim, obviously, is concerning, and that will be followed up on as well. So, and I think that providing that information to the public assuages some concerns in terms of this just wasn't an individual who was walking down the street and shot. There obviously was other things going on that we're just not at liberty to discuss in detail right now. And so that was the point of that, as well as letting everyone know that anyone that was involved in any fashion in this particular incident, we will pursue and bring to the full extent of the law. Okay? Yes.
Now that a suspect is in custody, is there any risk to the public?
Well, we're still looking for other people who were there. So, no. Is there a broad risk to the public? No. These individuals, while they may not have had a deep relationship, did know each other. And so from a random violent crime perspective, there is not a concern for public safety. There are other folks that we are in the process of locating and interview that may have been present during this event. So those things continue to be active and ongoing. Okay. As we develop more information, we'll be happy to come forward and give you an additional update in the future. Thank you.
Hi, this is Jesse from Valley News Live. Just wrapping up the press conference from Fargo Police Department on, excuse me. They held the police conference today at 2:30. And during the press conference, Fargo Police Department Chief Dave Zabalski and Criminal Investigations Division Captain Bill Affelt discussed the investigation into the homicide of the 16-year-old male that happened on Monday, May 22nd. 31-year-old Marcus Brian Rexroad was arrested and is being held on charges of murder, firearm possession by a felon, and delivery of a controlled substance. 2 firearms have also been recovered in the investigation. Criminal Investigation Division Captain Bill Affelt questions were asked at the news conference regarding gang activity. Much of this they were unable to answer as to the ongoing investigation, not wanting to reveal intimate details. Whether or not there was a relationship between the victim and Marcus Rexroad, they said they did know each other, but wouldn't go into further detail about what the relationship was. Marcus was arrested in Fargo. The victim was from West Fargo. Was asked if there may be more arrests. Again, not able to be answered at this time, but the motive was asked as well, and that we're not able to discuss that as the investigation is ongoing. Asked as well if the gun found next to the victim was the gun used in the murder. Again, not able to answer that question. So bringing us all the information that they can at this time. 31-year-old Marcus Rexroad arrested and in custody at this time.